read Reddit stories that made me go, OMG. So, I decided to do a little bit something different today, and we're going to be reading petty revenge and malicious compliance stories. So, I've read Am I the A-hole stories twice already, and I wanted to mix it up a little bit by doing some petty revenge and malicious compliance. Like, Am I the A-hole, malicious compliance, and petty revenge. Well, petty revenge and malicious compliance are kind of like the same thing a little bit, but I really enjoy those kinds of subreddits and stuff like that. So today, that's what I'm going to be reading to for you guys today. So I have 5 stories here, 3 petty revenge and 2 malicious compliance. So let's get started. So I have all the stories on my laptop right in front of me, so I'm going to be looking down at a lot of reading in this video. And I have some water with me to keep myself nice and hydrated. I've been really needing to drink more water because I've been sustaining myself on Dr. Pepper Zero and Diet Pepsi for like I need to stop. Like, I love that Dr. Pepper Zero and Diet Pepsi, but I need to drink actual water. Oh, because my sister was like, you need to drink more water, because I forgot to flush because it was like 6 o'clock in the morning when I went to the bathroom, and I was like half asleep already. I was like half asleep and I forgot to flush, and she was like, I don't know who forgot to flush, but whoever didn't flush needs to drink more water. I'm like, oh god, I forgot to flush. But yeah, speaking of like bathroom remnants, let's get through this story. So this story is titled Neighbor Threw Dog Poop Over My Fence and in My Driveway, so I piled it in front of his gate. So yeah, also, if any of if there's anything that you hear in the story that you do not enjoy, you are free to leave and enjoy another video. But yeah, so this is gonna have poop in it just from the title. I try to read at least the beginning snippet of the story, but obviously I don't get, like, you're only getting half the story, like RuPaul's Drag Race Untucked. But now let's get started with the story. So the story goes, neighbor threw his dog poop over my fence the other day when I went over to sell him eggs, I noticed. I was mad, but didn't say anything. He texted me right after saying, sorry, I won't throw poop over your fence again. I replied, okay, I was willing to let it go. That was 2 days ago. On our way out today, I see dog poop in the road in front of our gate and just all over the place. So when we got home, I got out and picked it up and started dumping it in front of his gate. After a bit, he comes out. I tell him, man, don't throw your dog poop in the road. To which he says, well, you don't have to put it in front of my gate. And I say, well, where do you want me to put it? I'm not putting it in someone else's property. I don't want to see it when I drive out. I mow this grass in front of yours and the other neighbors to protect from fires, and I don't want to step in it. It's your poop. You got 10 acres. Throw it there somewhere. He asks, well, what do you do with yours? I pick it up and put it in a bucket. When the buckets are full, I bag it and throw it away. He says, oh, is that what you do with it? Yes, it is. Then he just walks away. I pick up dog poop for 10 more minutes or so. I pick up the poop he threw over my fence and dumped in a pile back over his. It was a lot of poop. It wasn't just a few days worth. I sell this dude pasture-raised eggs for $5 a dozen with our garden in swing. I've been giving him squash tomatoes for free. When he needs help, I come over. He pays me for little things I wouldn't ask, but like I spent 6 hours on my tractor cleaning his cow pasture that he hadn't cleaned in 2 years. Heck, when the person he lives with had their alarms going off, I called and checked on her. Then I got them fixed. I tried to be a good neighbor. I'm on 20 acres. He's on 10. 2 is 70. Was I petty? Should I have spoken to him first? Alright, so, as someone who owns a dog, I don't know if this, also, is this dog poop or like cow poop, because it says he is on a pasture, but I'm guessing it's a dog, or I don't know. Let's see. I'm looking at the comments, it doesn't look. So, I feel like this is like, I don't think he was being rude, but I feel like he should have talked to the neighbor about like, hey, there has to be a better way of you getting rid of this poop, because I don't want to see it on my yard or anywhere on my property. And you tell him like, oh, throw it away, put them in buckets and throw them in the trash, not to put them in other people's property. Because like putting the whole like, oh, putting the poop away and all that, like putting all the poop on his property and all that, that was, I would say, it's like, it's funny. It would be funny if it's like an entitled dude, like who's like younger, but this guy is 70 and he's older and he owns like 10 acres of land. I don't know how acres work. So like, I don't know if 10 acres is like really big. Like if anyone owns like big like farmlands or anything and knows a little thing about acres, let me know. Is 10 acres a lot compared to 20? Because I don't really know. And it says at the end, dude is 70. I would say maybe, I feel like you took a little bit too much of a leap. When it came to that, because like, that's a lot of poop that you put on this guy's property, and now he has to throw it away. So yeah, so I would say maybe you should have, you maybe should have spoken to him first before, because if you told him like, hey, here's how I put away my poop, so maybe I'll show you, or I'll give you some of my buckets, because that's what I do for my dog's poop. So, my dad, being he is, like, he works with plants and stuff, and he always has, like, these big, like, couple gallon size buckets, like, maybe, like, gallon to, like, 5 gallon size buckets that he uses, that used to be, like, had plants and stuff in it, and I use those buckets to fill it up with poop. And when I had 2 dogs, it would be a lot more poop. And so whenever I would fill up those buckets, I would throw them in the green yard waste trash cans. After like a while, like after a couple of cans are filled, I throw them in the green waste bin. So that's what I would say, like, fill up some buckets with poop. Even like ask the guy like, hey, could you help me with this poop? And all that, instead of like throwing it into someone's yard, because like that's gross. But yeah, I don't think you were like, it was a little bit petty, but I feel like maybe like talking to the guy first, because communication is always key, especially if you guys are really like close neighbors and you do a lot for him. Like the guy should kind of like know too, like, hey, I should not be throwing poop over the yard. But yeah. Alright, let's see. Let's do another petty revenge story, and then we'll go into malicious compliance. So I have 2 like rude, like a lot of these are like rude guys. So let's do this one. It says, alright, this also has some bad words in it, and I'm trying like not to say as much, but it says, frat douche would play his drums till 5 a.m. every morning. This guy lived lived right next to me and every night would bang his drums so loud. I asked him if he wouldn't mind keeping it down that late, and he pretty much told me to F off. I was in an opposing frat. Frats. I have my opinions on Greek life in general, but I will talk about that later. Oh, I saw a fly. I thought it was a cockroach. It was just a fly. I had enough one day and decided I was ready to get some revenge. I decided to eat a buttload of nasty food from the cafeteria, waited for digestion, and pooped it all. If you're not watching the video or just listening to it, I'm just like, I didn't read this story. I thought it was like, oh, he's gonna like play even louder music and stuff like that. Not. I literally turned into 2 hot takes because why am I reading 2 poop stories in a row? So, let's continue. I decided to eat a buttload of nasty food from the cafeteria, waited for digestion, and pooped it all into a gallon Ziploc bag, flattened it, and threw it into a freezer. What? Waited for him to come back from the beach one day. I saw him wasted coming back with some other buddies. He had left his windows cracked, because of course he had those stupid weather protectors. I grabbed what I called the poop disc. I am so sorry. If anyone hates like poop stories, I am so sorry. And slid that turd onto his driver's seat. It was a hot summer in Florida. I'm sure it didn't take long to get ripe. I grabbed some beers and watched out the window for him to see it, and it was the funniest stuff I've ever seen. But yeah, this is a shorter story, so I am so sorry that it was another poop story. So yeah, also, I know it's not my place to judge, but I hate Greek life. I just feel like Greek life can be so elitist sometimes. Like, yeah, there are the smaller frats, but seeing all the stories, like, of what people get, what happened to people in France, like, a large majority, I feel like, of frats and sororities are just full of these elitist, just people, and, like, and all people, anytime someone criticizes Greek life, it's always like, oh, you didn't get picked, or you didn't get rushed, or whatever, and I'm just like, I do not care. Like, the only frat I would be in is Uzma Kappa, and that is about it. But yeah, just Greek life, don't like it, but 2 poop stories in one. Let's hope this one isn't a poop story. So, let's do it. So, this one is from Malicious Compliance, and it is apprentice will do as they're told, and boy, I did. And also Malicious Compliance, I didn't know they did this, but they have a literal filter that says like, oh, this is like a smaller story, then a medium story, then large, and then extra large story. And I'm like, ooh, that's cool. I really like that. So this is a medium story. So the story goes, many moons ago, I was starting out in an electrical career, joined a new to me company that was 40% into elementary school project. 40% into an elementary school project. I knew things were messed up by a few guys on site within days. Even though I was still a first year, foreman neglected to think ahead and constantly scrambling to keep up with the work while trying to look like a superstar to the office/owner. I get assigned to pipe block walls with a J-man. He would lay out, cut, install fittings. I'd run around following masons, stacking blocks. J-man noticed the bathroom flushometers weren't on the prints for one floor. He brings it up to the foreman. It's 100% an extra and needs to be addressed. There's 2 frames of mind on how to move forward. You do it and I did. Get an extra approved, bang it out, and get a decent extra out of it with little to no trouble. 2, ignore it, then get stuck snacking through hollow brick and chipping out. Foreman has us go route 2. Months later, it's rediscovered and I get to chipping concrete in a finished space rather than during the earlier phase. It's tedious, awkward, all around not a great job. I'm working alone on this and as it's low voltage. I help wire the others. Foreman wants it done and done now. I pull the wires and get sent off the next dumpster fire created by this. This guy's writing is weird. I don't know if it's weird or I just can't read. I pull the wires and get sent off the next dumpster fire created by this guy's inability to listen to his crew and having no backbone. Yeah, I think the grammar is not the greatest. He sends in another greener appliance to splice out the transformers. Also, I am not an electrician. He has me terminate the motion sensing flash wave starting on the toilets. Like, stuff's wrong, nothing is working. Or everything's wrong, nothing is working. I tell him after the first 3 or 4, I need this to be done, so do it as I showed you. Just do as you're told. Wouldn't let me hook at the other kid's work. I press on, wire the first faucet, I hear flush, second faucet, another flush. I go check the toilets. Now when I get close and back up, I hear the sinks running. I choose to press forward and keep my head down. Eventually, I find the foreman in front of the GC and plumber foreman. I get asked if I'm done. Absolutely. I just have one last question that I think is a plumbing issue. Could you 3 come and check it out with me? Now I know it's our problem, but I don't know what that says, but the glance to have this guy get ran over twice was too sweet. It was so bad. Some things were operating sinks and toilets in other rooms. The fallout was I had a target on my back for the short I was there. Both the company owner and the foreman ended up leaving the trades a few years later. I'm now running work and I actually appreciate how the foreman taught me how not to do things. So yeah, this is kind of like a pretty good example of oh, you tell me to do it this way, and obviously even though it's literally not the right thing to do. Which is also, I am so sorry about reading this story. I literally do not know whatever this guy is saying because I am not an electrician. So obviously he has to do something with toilets. I don't know what higher power made me choose stories that have to do with poop, bathrooms, whatever. I don't know, but let's do one more story. Let's do this one. This one is another malicious compliance one. It says, here's your pizza with everything. When I was in college a long time ago, I worked at a national pizza chain, Mostly I delivered, but I got some extra benefits for running 1 or 2 shifts a week as a manager. The following happened when a customer came in complaining about not enough toppings on the company's version of a deluxe pizza. I'll talk about this in later because I hate when people think like, oh, this restaurant does it this way, and why do you guys not do it that way? Alright, let's continue. So for a bit of context, when a customer asks for a pizza with everything, most pizza places will default to their version of a deluxe pizza. These pizzas usually have 5 to 8 toppings. Ours had 7. But they are not full portion toppings. And are typically the equivalent of a 3 or 4 topping pizza. This is actually because they taste better in the way the customers are not charged for a 7 topping pizza or anything. So I'm managing a shift when I hear a customer absolutely berating one of the clerks up front. I intercede and he proceeds to yell at me because he ordered a pizza a couple weeks ago and barely got anything on it. I explained the portions and when we do them, etc. But he just got more irate. So I said, sure, I will make you a pizza with full toppings on everything on it. But it's going to cost a fortune, taste terrible, and probably still be cold. So he entered it into the system and he comes up to be like $60 or more. A lot at that time. He is obviously a little shocked, but basic. The pizza was like 3 inches tall. We couldn't even cut it with the wheel cutter and had to find a rock cutter for it. It is ice cold in the middle because the ovens are not designed to penetrate that much stuff, and there is no way to cook the center without it burning from top to bottom. All the cheese was on top, just slides into the cut, and when we were cutting it, it's the train wreck of a pizza. We could barely even get it into the box. So I take it up front and hand it to the guy who obviously spent the entire time thinking how he could get his $60 back. He opens it, sticks his finger in the middle and says the meat is uncooked and he wants his money back. I explained that all of our meats were pre-cooked and safe to eat from frozen, so he couldn't have refund for something that I warned him about. He argued it for about 5 more minutes and threatened all sorts of things, but I just didn't care. In the end, he headed out with his pizza and most likely went straight into the trash. I just hate when people expect like, oh, this place does it this way, and why isn't your place that is a completely different place do it this way? And there was another story that I heard a while back, like a couple years ago, where this guy was like, I want the entirety of the pizza covered in pepperoni, not a lick of cheese to be seen. And the pizza like ended up like creating this huge bubble and just like exploded all over the place because there was like no air being released because of just the thick layer of pepperoni from the pizza. And it was just like, oh my god. And this guy paying $60 and having it covered in like a 3 inch, like I have a ruler right here. So I said the layer was like 3 inches tall. So this is about 3 inches tall. So that is a really, really thick pizza because they would have to put full portions of like all the ingredients that they would use for the pizza. And that is just crazy. But yeah, I just hate like when customers expect like or not understand how things work when it comes to a restaurant and stuff like that. Well, I have like one more story, but the video's already going pretty long, so maybe I'll save it for another video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I am so sorry for the amount of like poop or like poop related videos in this, like stories in this video. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow the Instagram down in the doobly-doo. Well, without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a nice and safe